So I've been using the Bambu Lab H2D now for a little bit more than a year, but I also have the Bambu Lab H2S. And the more I use both of these machines, the more noticeable the differences between them actually gets. The H2D can save you a lot of time when you're doing multicolored prints, such as this BC6 that I got right here that you can download on my Maker World if you want to print one yourself. But it's also way more complicated if something were to happen to the actual nozzles because it's a dual nozzle system. I also do have an H2D with a 40-watt laser combo, and I've been getting a lot of questions whether or not it's actually worth going for the laser combo, and the short answer is going to be no. So if this is your first time here, I just want to say hi. My name is Peter and I live in Sweden, and I make videos around tech, DIY, random vlogs and cameras and that kind of stuff. So if that is your jam, then you might want to consider hitting that subscribe button. Otherwise, just enjoy the video, tag along, and you can make the decision towards the end of it if that feels better. So I think that the first question about these 3D printers that we should answer is, why would you go for the H2D? And there's a couple of good reasons as to why, but one of the main reasons is that you want to print in multiple different colors or in multiple different materials. We're going to take my BC6, for example, that is printed in two different colors. In PETG, you have black and then you have orange. Now, the good thing with having two different nozzles is that it switches between them depending on where the layer sets that there's two different colors. So if you want to minimize the amount of waste from your filaments when you're printing multicolor prints or multi-material prints, then having a dual nozzle is actually going to be worth it in the long run, just when you look at the filament costs. But the filament is only one aspect of the things that you'll save. The other thing is going to be time. So if your products are designed to be multicolored or designed to be multi-material prints, then having the H2D actually makes a lot of sense. However though, the more things you have jammed into one tool head, the more complex it's going to get whenever something breaks or whenever you have to change something. There's a fly here. I'm just going to swat it off if it comes close. But basically the H2D has two hot ends that goes up and down, as I talked about previously, and the H2S has only one. So if something were to happen to the H2D with the hot ends or with the tool head, it's going to be a more complex situation to actually fix the issue rather than what you have with the H2S. I think that my personal stance is that the more things you want one machine to do, the more trade-offs you're going to have to get in order for the machine to do what you want it to do, if that makes sense. And don't get me wrong here, because the H2D is a freaking amazing machine as long as it works. But if something happens to it, it's kind of pain in the butt to try to fix it, or at least that's my experience of it. I kind of realized that I haven't even shown you what the BC6 is, but this one that I got right here is the heavy config BC6. And BC stands for beverage carrier, and the 6 is the amount of units that you can actually carry with you. So this is for the 50 centiliter cans, but I also have one for the 33 centiliter cans. It's basically allowing you to carry 6 units with you or have it in your garage or whatever you feel like you want to do with it, and have one of these cold packs sliding down in the middle. Now, one of the key features of the BC6 is that you can actually stack them on top of each other and use something that I have designed here on the side that I call the stack locks to kind of click them together. And now you can carry this entire pack away if you want to. So you can have a 12 pack, you can have a 24 pack if you want. It's all going to be up to you. Isn't it amazing what technology allows us to do nowadays? It's like, my mind is blown. And it also has a foldable handle. Oh, that is so nice. If you want to download this, print it on your own printer. The file is entirely free, so you're going to be able to find it on my Maker World. Don't forget to leave a boost or comment or something if you actually download it and use it and you think it's fun. Now the H2S, on the other hand, is probably going to be the better all-round printer when you compare the two side by side. Mainly because you have a single nozzle workflow. It's way easier to understand and actually maintain. You have a bigger area to actually print on because you don't have to take into consideration the left and right nozzle when you're working in the slicer. It's also better suited for large single material prints, and probably the most sensible choice for most users that's actually looking to buy a printer in this size. So if you don't know what I mean by taking the left and right nozzle into consideration when you're working the slicer, basically what happens is that if you're working with the right nozzle, you can only print on one specific area. And if you're working with the left nozzle on the H2D, you can only print on the other area. So you're basically not able to use the entire build area of the printer when you're actually slicing your product. But that is not an issue when you're working with the H2S because it only has one nozzle, so you can use the entire build plate area for your actual prints. So let's talk a little bit about the laser experience then, because I love customizing my own stuff and I think it's awesome. And that is also where I think that the capabilities of the laser in this machine kind of ends. It's not that it's bad in any way or form, it's just that it's not optimized. I actually did customize my own iPad in this machine and it didn't really align the way that I wanted to. It was a little bit off, but it still did a great job with doing just that. So what do I think that this is the best for? I'm probably going to say cutting acrylic and maybe, you know, thin pieces of wood, maybe do some slight engraving, but with that also comes a lot of cleaning, because when you're using the laser engraver, there's a lot of smoke, there's a lot of dust, there's a lot of things that needs to be cleaned interior of this machine when you're using that. So the more you use the laser engraver function, the more you realize that it's probably best to have a separate machine, because the hassle of cleaning this out after every laser engraving session that you've had just to move back to 3D printing isn't actually worth the hassle, in my opinion. I mean, like, the laser works just fine. It's just that the entire cleaning part is not my kind of jam. I'm not a huge fan. But if I set my personal opinions aside, it's also a great compromise if you don't have the space for multiple different machines, or if you only have the possibilities to purchase one machine that can do both of these things. So having the opportunity is something that I think is great, but if you're looking into having this as a production hub, replacing a laser engraver or a laser cutter, then I wouldn't recommend it as such. But if you're looking into getting the laser combo just because you have limited space, or that you don't have the budget to actually buy two machines, then I do think that this is a great option. Whenever I'm printing my BC6 in this multicolored print, then the H2D definitely is justifiable because it cuts the time down so much compared to the H2S. But if you just print this in single color, then there's absolutely no need to have the H2D. So I think that what you need to take into consideration is, like, how many colors and how many materials do you actually want to print in one single print, and can you manage to print without two nozzles to begin with? Because if you don't want to spend a lot of time tinkering around whenever something breaks down, I do not recommend the H2D, but if you do have a little bit of tinkering spirit in you, I do recommend the H2D because I think it's a much more fun printer, but the H2S is probably the more reliable printer. And if I were to buy the H2D again today, I'm not entirely convinced that I would go for the laser combo. I probably would go for a separate machine. But then again, it's a great way to actually get started. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. And if you want to print the BC6, it's available on my Maker World. I'm going to drop a link down below. And don't forget to subscribe as well, because I would love to see you in the next video. I would also love to hear which printer that is your personal favorite and why. So do drop a comment down below. Peter from Sweden is saying goodbye. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next one.